Alright, these movies make absolutely no sense, but I'll try to sum it up in this video. Also, if it seems like the movie's only 10 minutes, that's because there's only like 10 minutes of story things. Our movie starts off with these people named Takeshi Hongo and Asuka Midorikawa in a lab. Then, Takeshi gets kidnapped by an evil organization named Shocker and gets turned into a cyborg that they call Hopper. Then, he and the spider cyborg guy go kill people, and wow, what a coincidence, Asuka and the person she's gonna get married to are there too. Then it starts snowing and he's like, hey, murder is bad, and decides he doesn't want to kill people anymore. But then the spider cyborg guy kills the guy Asuka's gonna get married to, and she thinks it was Takeshi, because he was right next to him when she came back. By the way, I just summed up the first third of the movie. Literally nothing else in the movie up to this point is important to the story. So then this guy named Hayato Ichimonji that looks just like Katsuhiko, the guy she was gonna marry, sits down next to Asuka. And all you need to know about him is that I hate him. You want to know what his big character development is in this movie? He goes from being a jerk to a slightly less jerk. There's your character development. He's another cyborg from Shocker, who is Hopper 2. Sent here to kill Takeshi for betraying Shocker, but he doesn't want to do that. His goal is to steal Asuka from Takeshi. Oh yeah, there was a thing building up through the entire movie with them. I kind of forgot to mention that. Oh yeah, and Takeshi also saved Asuka earlier, and now he takes her home. Hayato and Asuka get attacked by Shocker, and he realizes, hey, I have the same powers as these guys. I don't have to kill people. So he transforms right in front of Asuka and fights Shocker. Asuka, for some reason, thinks the one who saved her was Hayato, but they obviously have different colored suits. But then she figures out that it was Takeshi all along, and she defends Takeshi against Hayato. And then they realize, hey, we're both Kamen Riders. Maybe we should work together because we have no reason to fight. Then Asuka gets kidnapped by Shocker, and Takeshi and Hayato have one of the coolest Kamen Rider fight scenes I have literally ever seen. Why couldn't the rest of this movie be like this? Then she's saved, and Takeshi and Asuka walk off screen. Well, actually, Takeshi carries Asuka's unconscious body off screen. Wait, does that mean she's just dead and none of them get her? This movie was honestly really boring. This was an hour and a half. I just summed that up in like 3 minutes. So, for most likely every one of you that are confused after that, lucky for you, they made a sequel movie 2 years later. But ironically, this movie is as confusing, if not even more confusing. And it's a lot more dumb than the first one. And what an appropriate name for a sequel to Kamen Rider the First than Kamen Rider the Next. So the movie starts out with a guy listening to a song, and then the computer starts glitching out. See kids, this is what happens when you click on those Play Mario for free ads. Then he just dies with his lifeless body laying on the floor. Yeah, this movie's a lot more adult than the first, but somehow it's worse. So Takeshi is now a science teacher for a school, and everyone's making fun of him. Hey, stop making fun of the only good character to come out of these two movies. So this isn't revealed until the very end of the movie, but I think I should explain it right now. Popstar, who sang the song at the beginning of the movie, fell down the stairs and got a face full of electricity, and her face was ruined. So she does what any rational person would do, and she jumps off the roof, and now she comes to kill whoever listens to her song. And now the people in charge of her are finding people to replace and act like her, because they can't just tell everyone that she is dead. Why is everybody in this movie an idiot except for Takeshi? So back at school, Takeshi saves some person in his class that was getting picked on, and now everybody knows he's a cyborg. So then we get introduced to Shiro Kazumi, who is the pop star's brother. And Shocker, get it, Shocker, he's turned into a Kamen Rider by Shocker too. And then Shiro and Takeshi fight until they're like, oh yeah, we're trying to figure out the same thing. They went to see Shiro if he knew anything about her, but he didn't. So they just went all that way for nothing. But then Takeshi finds Hayato again. By the way, we're already halfway done with the movie. Yeah, this movie drags on a lot more than the first. So then Takeshi goes to fight Shocker on his own, and Hayato shows up and is like, hey, you idiot, you're gonna die if you try to fight on your own. And then Shiro shows up to fight, and they have a super long fight scene that lasts like 10 minutes that's way less cool than the fight scene from the first, so the pop star shows up and tells Shiro to kill her. But isn't she already dead? He does that, and the movie ends with Takashi getting fired from the school because everybody's scared of him. Okay, being serious here, I don't know how, but this was even worse than Kamen Rider J, and if you've seen my review of it, then you know how bad I think it is. It seems like this movie was trying to be a Kamen Rider horror movie, but the murderer is a pop star. I also think the thing with anybody who listens to the pop star's song gets murdered is a stupid idea.
Somebody once told me the Xbox was better. I told him that's just his opinion.
Weird.
Also, none of the characters other than Takashi and Hayato appear in the next. Oh, I guess Asuka did die at the end of the first, because she doesn't appear in the movie, and isn't even mentioned. Also, I heard people say that if a Kamen Rider season is great, then the Sentai season it airs with will be the opposite, and vice versa. I guess it applies to extra series and movies too. The next came out the same year as Kamen Rider Den-O, my favorite Kamen Rider series of all time, so I had some pretty high expectations. The writer for these movies, Toshiki Inoue, was only the head writer for one season, Kamen Rider Kiva. Wow, I wonder why. And also, I hear Kiva isn't even that good of a season. So now the music. Both themes were sung by Issa, who sang Justifies, the theme for Kamen Rider Fies, and helped sing Over Quartzer, the theme for Kamen Rider Geo. The ending theme for Kamen Rider the First is Bright Our Future. I don't think it's a particularly good song. The next theme is Chosen Soldier. It's okay. It's way better than Bright Our Future, but it's still not that great. So that's about it about the music. So you guys probably noticed now that these two movies are reboots of Kamen Rider and Kamen Rider V3. If you guys want to learn the story of these two shows, don't watch these movies. Just watch the shows for the story. They do a way better job of explaining it than these movies do. So if you guys are wondering what the clip at the end of the last video was, I was originally going to do Kamen Rider X after this, but I was on episode 8 and I literally couldn't even finish the episode. So I'm going to skip it for now and come back to it later. But now, I'm going to be picking them one by one on my own. And next time, we're going to be doing Kamen Rider Kabuto.